Hello, everyone. My name is Andre Webb, and I'm a multifaceted professional with a higher education background with ranging experiences from recruiting, supervision, and project management. I have extensive experience in budget management, emotional intelligence, training and development, as well as program coordination. I'm currently transitioning into the tech world by the way of full stack development, learning how to code on the front end and the back end to make me a full stack developer. The codes that I've been learning so far is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And since working in higher education, I've been able to truly follow my passion as far as teaching individuals. However, I have a passion for technology as well. So as a little boy, I remember getting my first video game, Madden, of course, and seeing how the graphics evolved or developed from back then when the players were very boxy to real life characters now. And I know I wanted to be a part of that experience. In undergrad and graduate school, I always found myself around the computer lab or taking or talking to IT because I would break something on my computer or download something, and I wanted to know the ins and out of how computer and different things, softwares talk to each other. But it wasn't until recently when the pandemic hit when I went to a networking event and learned that it's not too late to change my career. So for this presentation, I want to show you all my capstone that I created during my time as Savvy Coders, where I built a uh, single page web application. I'm sorry, single page web application for my final project and certification. And remember, this is only a prototype. In this web application, it is geared toward young men as well as a shoe cleaning business. And it gives you a little bit of more insight into who I am and the things that I am passionate about. And as well as it gives you a chance to listen to my podcast I've created. So this app will be mainly used at pop-up shops because I know in the world of fashion that's really high right now, especially with young entrepreneurs who are trying to get their brand out there. So I think this application will be very helpful to them. But here are just a few technologies that I've used during this process. So I've used JavaScript, of course, HTML, CSS, and that's all of my front end. I'm currently hosting my website on Netlify. Um, as well as I've built an API server that is hosted through Heroku and MongoDB that collects the database. I've also used Form Free in order to capture some of the data. And I built my actual prototype or my wireframes through Just in Mind, which is a software, and I'll get a chance to show you all that just a second. And my API was actually built on another software called Insomnia. By doing this class and taking this boot camp, it really pushed my goals and aspirations to become a UX UI designer one day. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. So any feedback that you all are willing to give, I'll be definitely grateful to have that. And then just remember, this is only the beginning. I'm continuing to learn, and I'm going to continue to perfect my craft. So here we go. So let me share my screen, and I want to show you all my actual prototype. So this is my actual prototype, and this is what I was thinking for my very first web application and having the ability or the opportunity to do that. So this will be a sign-in page, and as you can see here, it will be using Forms Free. And actually misspelled this word here. But and it actually the good thing about this website is that you actually can get a chance to click in this with just in mind the software. It's actually like a live prototype, and you're actually able to click on different things and it take you to the different pages. And then if you click something, everything that lights up in blue actually take you or interactive buttons where you can actually look at different things. These are the things that I'm looking to eventually host or have at the pop-up shops that people can buy. And that's with the Roy Fortune's page, which is the clothing line. And I'm going to show you that on the actual single page application. 180 is our shoe cleaning businesses. And then here I have a button. Oh, it did not pop up. But it actually is supposed to take you to our services that we offer. This is the podcast page. Here will actually be a video or YouTube embedded video where you get a chance to listen to our intro, see what we are about, and then actually able to listen to some of our um, seasons right down here. I want to have a shopping cart page where you can see everything that you purchased with the total and everything in that matter. And then this would just be an order history page. and it shows you, gives you your tracking number and everything, so on and so forth. So that's just a prototype. But let me take you to my actual capstone. So this is actually my capstone. And this is what I had the ability and opportunity to learn and build with Savvy Coders, and I really, really enjoyed it. So here is just my home view. And as you can see, I have an automated slideshow, and this was really good. It's super fun to learn, and I actually got a chance to show you, and I'm going to show you the code that I learned alongside from my TA, Alex, who really showed me and helped me with this. But this is this. This is just our homepage, and then the 180 souls that I was showing you all through the prototype, the shoe cleaning services. This is it. This is actually the service list that we have here. And I know it's kind of big, but if you were to take it down, it's definitely mobile friendly, and I can show you that in just a second. This is our podcast page. Here we go. And these are actually embedded videos to YouTube. And they're actually do work, as you can see.
So David,
And then this is just a few of our seasons. And these are embedded through Spotify, and you can listen to those. So if you wanted to listen to more content, we have it here. And it's actually super fun. I had a really great time doing this. And then here's actually like the clothing line. So these are just a couple of logos that I've had created before, and I've actually went back and added my own little design to this, like this right here. I pretty much took that and added the name here. So I'm working with graphic designing as well in Adobe, getting my feet wet in that as well. But this is the most fun part and the most thing I think the most interesting piece is that this is actually a live API. And here it actually works. And let's see, let's go with, let's see, Fred. Fred is buying a small t-shirt and he wants a custom logo, and then he wants to submit the order. And it doesn't pop up, but I'll show you on Heroku through the back end of actually where it is. I think it's just my CSS. And that's just a future project, is just to make sure that it continues to work and probably narrow it down so I can have all of the names and orders all in one frame. So that's actually that. And like I said, I'm going to show you that. Show you another feature um, venture as well, is that when you first click onto the homepage, I wanted to pop in with this actually playing automatic, at least the trailer and meet the host. I think that that'd be really fun and really good to do, especially when you first come onto this page. So that's something that's a future venture for here. 180 souls. I want to be able to, I'm going to create another forms free where I can collect the information. So then that way we can start having live chats and things of that matter. So you can actually talk to someone while they're cleaning your shoes, and possibly even get them to record them live. So then that way you can see it, see your shoes being cleaned, and you can see the product that you're paying for. This is also a hyperlink where it'll take you straight to our Instagram, so you can follow us there. Um, and then back to our homepage. So that is my capstone. So let me show you where it is hosted on Heroku. Give me 1 second. Oh, here you go. Let me pull up Heroku and this down. 1 second, y'all. So this is actually my Heroku right here. So if you remember, the person that I just created is Fred, right? And this is all of my APA data that I've created before, that I implemented myself or I entered myself. And remember, he was Fred. Fred was a customer. His size was a small, and his logo was, I believe, custom. So let's see if this works. And as you can see, API worked. It's live and it's running. You can actually see that Fred bought a small T-shirt and his logo is customer, and it will pop back up to the Royal Fortunes page here, right at the bottom. But again, like I said, see it, there it is right there. See, all we had to do was refresh the page, and Fred is right there. So that's really fun, and I really enjoy that. And I'm going to show you now the API system that I use. So this is actually Insomnia. This is what I've used to build my API thanks to the program. So this is the actual, let's say, data that I wanted to capture, which was the customer's name, the size, and the design. And I was able to post it here. And when I post it here, I'm able to go here and hit get, and it's going to pull it up, and it's going to pull that information there. So that's my Insomnia, and that's my API, my custom API that I've built. exit this, I'm gonna exit this, and then I do not need this. And now let's pop into the code. So this is the part that you all probably are really wanted to see and everything else. So with coding, it took a lot, and I'm still learning, but I really had fun doing this. But with that automatic slasher on the home page, this is the function that we actually created. And what we did was we actually created a function that would loop through an array of images that will be able to sit back and actually continuously going on. So once it hits the end, it'll start back at zero. So let's walk through the function a little bit. So we created a function called change image, and change image is here again, as you can see. So we're going to call it down here. But we walk through, we grab change image, which is the name of our function. And with that, we created an object. So in our object, we went into the store folder, and within the store folder, we went into the homepage JS, and that's what we got here. And then we created another parameter. I want to say parameter. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we created another variable for current slide, which will equal store.home.slides. And slides is actually up, and I'll show you where I created that folder. And within that, we created an array. And in this array, we actually are going back into the index within our slides JS within our assets folder. So then that way you can actually see that we are looping through here. And then we had to create a constant variable called image source. And then we created a media query, and where we're grabbing the different elements or pictures as you want, if someone is not familiar with that, by the ID. And we gave each ID a name within a string. So as you can see here, we continue on, and then this is the fun part. And I really say the looping part was the fun part because at the beginning of the cohort, I really did not understand looping, and I really was trying my best to learn it. But with time, it started to catch on, and like I said, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to grasp it and everything on and so forth. But here, it's pretty much saying if one of the images is less than another image's minus one, which is subtracting one, then we're going to sit here and go down and actually add it back. And then if once we hit zero or hit the end and the else part comes in, if we hit zero, it'll go back to the beginning. And down here, we actually created another element where we added in a transition phase. And this is something that I'm still learning, how we enter the transition, but that was super fun. And then here's just some more of my code. I can show you where this is another media query that we entered with the Capstone, so you can see it like on a smaller mobile view. And I could actually show you where my API is. So here's my API here that I've created. And let's see, I'll talk about this in a second. But okay, so with this API here, we actually, where is it? Because we had a post and we had to get, oh, this is the API. So what it's pretty much saying, Axios is pretty much saying that we're going to post the data, and then it posted it to the API, which is tops. And then we're going to request it. Then we're going to console log it, and nobody will see this unless you go into the console log. And it will say I posted if it went through, and then if it was an error, it will post the error. All right. And then as you can see here, like I said, I've tried multiple ways of trying to learn how to do that. And I actually wanted to do a fade and slideshow at first, but this was actually the code that I used, and I've been researching, and it was not working. It kept breaking my code, and it was actually just for CSS and not or HTML, and it was not for JavaScript. So I had to actually go back and work with my TA on learning how to do that. But here, as you can see, here is another opportunity where I use the switch case for my Royal Fortune that will allow me to post or get the information from that I'm posting from the Capstone and post it to my API. And then it will respond the data back onto the page. So that was super fun. But as you can see here, I have a store folder that has all of my different views. And in those, it has the header. Here's where my array is for my table. So that way you can see that, the podcast, it's my links page. So then that way I have all of my links and they're all working. Index.js, every folder should have an index.js. And then here is actually where we used slide images. And like I said, we went up and we used create a string that's pulling from the slide folder, and I'll show you exactly what that is. And it posts it to our homepage and for the slideshow. As you can see, index is 0, meaning the start from the first slide is 0, and the transition is 3,000 milliseconds, which is actually just 3 seconds. And it was super fun. And like I said again, I really enjoyed it, and I am looking forward to building my next one. So let's go up here. Here's actually my slides folder. So as you can see, assets, where I store all of my pictures on my media here. And within that, I had to create another folder for just the slideshow. And within that folder, here's my index.js. As you can see, like I said earlier, every folder should have an index.js. And here's all of the different images that I've used, and that's cycling through or looping through that slideshow. So that is my capstone. Also, I want to talk to you all a little bit about Jira and how much Jira really played a part. Jira truly played a huge part in my process, and I'm gonna see if I could pull it up for a second. If you give me 1 second. But Jira truly did play a huge part in this because I consider myself a very smart individual, or I try to keep myself as on time as possible. Here's mine. I try to keep myself on time as possible. So with this actually made it more visible and made it easier for me to track and keep up with by creating sprints, by creating opportunities for me to know how to do that. So as you can see here, I had to go in and create different epics, and epics is just like the overall planning of it. And I created smaller stories, and within these stories, this is actually things that I needed to do, or objects or tasks that I needed to complete in order to finish this project or this step. So that was super fun, and it's super convenient. It is very, very, very helpful. It keeps you on track. It allows you to know where you're falling behind, where you're not, with all of those things that you need to get done. So I look forward to continuing on my experience with projects as well as personal life, and that is my capstone. So thank you all again. Thank you so much. I truly enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds. Thanks.